Hello, my name is Ricardo Lau, and this is my final project for my class. I have decided to speak about the Panama Papers. The main reason I decided to speak about the Panama Papers it's because many people have an idea of what is this about, but not everyone knows the details of it. So I thought it was a good idea to speak about the Panama Papers. So let's start by let's start by clarifying what is the Panama Papers. It was a leak of more than 11.5 documents stolen in 2015 from the servers of the firm Mossack Fonseca, a Panamanian law firm dedicated mainly to the management of offshore companies. This information was leaked by an unidentified source to a German newspaper in which heads of state and governments, world political leaders were exposed, and all their finances were exposed for many things like the tax evasion, their assets, and the profits that they were making for their business. So now I want to clarify the definition of an offshore account. To act within the law, an offshore account must meet certain conditions. First, the directors of the company would not have their domiciles in the country of the registered office. The company will not be able to carry out commercial activities in this country and will not use local labor. On the other hand, it is allowed to have a representative of the company on the site. The society will not be able to use the economy of the host countries, in particular in terms of investment, subsidies, and bank transfers. Another point I'd like to clarify is that this was totally legal and constitutional in Panama. So, why is this important? It is important because the firm currently appears in well-known cases of corruption linked to personalities such as Argentine President Nestor Kirchner and Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, or Brazil's Prime Minister Dilma Rousseff. On the other side of the scale, the name of Mossack Fonseca was totally discredited. Likewise, the Panamanian state, with respect to its relationship with international, through this work, we will be analyzing in depth the causes, consequences, and because it was an error on the part of the media of communication to use the name of Panama for acts of corruption that did not involve an entire country. So, why is this an ethical problem instead of another type of problem? While it is true the activity of the firm is not illegal in the strict sense, we cannot exempt the company from illicit activities that occurred in it. As experts in depth of the subject knew that these cases could occur. On the other hand, many of their clients perform perfectly lawful activities. But there are others who have used the servers of the Panamanian firm for darker purposes, such as evading and laundering capital, and it is here where we want to highlight the ethical problem of this company in set with your customers. So, what company are you using? Signatures of lawyers Mossack Fonseca. So now let's analyze what really happened. Those involved contracted with the law firm Mossack Fonseca, consultants for companies, services constituting of funding and establishing companies registered in tax havens in such a way that they fulfill the primary objective of hiding the identity of the owners. So, what interested parties were affected? The Panama Papers have revealed that among Mossack Fonseca clients, there are 143 politicians, their relative or associates, Among those politicians, there are already 12 well-known government presidents like Vladimir Putin, of course, the Mossack Fonseca firm, such as lawyers Georgian Mossack and Ramon Fonseca Mora. So, why was this a problem? The problem, to begin with, is that most of the time Mossack Fonseca was contacted by an intermediary acting on behalf of the beneficiary of the offshore company. Knowing those beneficiaries is impossible without a court order. So, how did the company respond? And I quote, until recently, there was no need to end customer. It was not necessary. For example, before you sold a company to a bank in Switzerland and you could not give us the client's name for confidentiality issues. Now we have a limited obligation that it is that we must know the name of the intermediary and know that they do have the name of the final beneficiary, explained Fonseca. We make legal vehicles, corporations, foundations, and trust, and sell them mainly to intermediaries such as banks, fiduciaries, accounts, and lawyers. Unfortunately, in the legal papers, the name that it comes out, it's ours. And if something happens, the first one they are going to look for is the lawyer who made the society. He says. So, was this an ethical response? Regarding whether or not the answer given by the lawyer was ethically, I could say that this is left to the discretion of each person. Given that these professionals in that area and as